Hi, my name is Brian Traskos. I'm the president of Motivation Beyond Measure and co-creator of sensation-based motivation coaching. I think the thing that's most obviously on all of our minds right now is the COVID-19 virus. The World Health Organization has just declared it a global pandemic. The NBA today just suspended all of the games for the rest of the season. And I think we can also agree that not all of the information that we're getting in the public domain is necessarily accurate or helpful. Statistically speaking, more people die every day of heart disease, of cancer, and even starvation than COVID-19. So why is COVID-19 such a big deal? Is it because it's so contagious? Well, maybe. But do you know what is even more contagious than COVID-19? The fear that COVID-19 is creating. I can guarantee that more people will catch the fear of COVID-19 than COVID-19 itself. So why is COVID-19 creating so much fear? It's because it's invisible. Think about that. We can't see it. We never know where it is. Do you have the virus? Do I have the virus? Is the virus over there somewhere? Is it on this tabletop waiting for me to walk by and it can jump on me? So just some things that we can't see, especially if they travel from person to person, can invoke so much fear in us. So things that are invisible have so much power on our psyche, don't they? So fear is really what makes COVID-19 so dangerous. And while we know eventually the most skilled medical experts are going to get a handle on what exactly to do about COVID-19 from viral therapies or immune therapies or something like that, in the meantime, we have a lot of people who are really afraid and in a panic, literally. So what do we know about fear? Well, we know a couple of things. Well, first of all, we know that when we're afraid, we don't make good decisions. We make decisions rashly, dangerously, ineffectively, dysfunctionally. Oftentimes, we literally jump out of the frying pan right into the fire because we don't think clearly when we're experiencing fear. The other thing we know about fear is that it depresses our immune system substantially. So the irony of this is that the more afraid we are of COVID-19, the more likely we are to contract COVID-19 or any other pathogen for that matter. The seasonal flu, a bacterial infection, or even create the opportunity for a disease process within ourselves to flourish and grow that we're not even aware of, or something that we've been dealing with to come back again. So fear itself is a strong depressor of our immune system function, and it really has a strong impact on altering how our physiology functions. So we recognize that things that are invisible are extremely anxiety provoking for us and can create a tremendous amount of fear. The things that are invisible are powerful, but not just to harm us, also to heal us. Now, I would contend that the most powerful healing elements in our life are also invisible. We have a saying that both faith and fear are beliefs in the unseen. So what does that mean? It means we can't see fear, we can't see faith, but depending on which one we're believing in will actually change and alter our physiology and guide our decision making moving forward. So we know that faith and purpose are literally unstoppable in our lives. Now, I've seen people with spinal cord injuries walk down the aisle at their kids' weddings. I've seen people with severe brain injuries who were told they're never going to walk across the stages at their graduations. I've seen a 94-year-old woman with bilateral lung cancer in sepsis with a broken hip fly across the country just so she could see her kids one last time, look them in the eye, and tell them how much she loved them. So we know that purpose is literally unstoppable in our lives. And when we are living in accordance, we are living and acting in accordance with our inherent motivators, the things that make us feel purposeful from within, that our immune system is the strongest and the most resilient that it's going to be. And this is when we're also best able to ward off any pathogens or any other disease processes from the inside. Now, we can't stop being afraid by focusing on not being afraid. That's like walking around outside in the snow, stamping around and complaining about not wanting to be cold and trying to push the cold away. No, it doesn't work like that. The way that we push the cold away is to do its opposite, which is to start a fire. And when we start a fire, two things happen. We both get warmer and the cold goes away simultaneously. So how does this work when we're talking about not being afraid? We have to focus on the opposite. We focus on the opposite of fear, which is purpose in this case. And when we are in alignment with our internal motivators, the things that really drive us invisibly from within, we all know what those things feel like. When we connect with those things, then that's what we're focusing on. living and acting in accordance with our own internal motivators. And then here's the key, doing that in a way where it makes a positive difference in someone else's life. That's where our motivational profiles and our immune system profiles just go off the charts. That's when our immune system is the strongest and we're the most resilient to external pathogens, external viruses, or even disease processes from within. When we are in alignment with our own motivators and we do it in a way where it makes a positive difference in someone else's life. Now, if you want some help figuring out your internal motivators, reach out to us. That's what we do as sensation-based motivation professionals. But really, here's the summary of this. Remember that while we do have to take logical precautions in dealing with COVID-19, washing our hands, social distancing, limiting travel to places where there's outbreaks. All those kinds of things are really, really important. But the real threat here is the fear that COVID-19 is invoking in our psyche and our community populations at large. And let's use that same power of the invisible. Let's actually tap into the invisible power of our own purpose and our own internal motivators to step out there to strengthen our own immune properties, our community immune properties, and our global immune properties to make a bigger difference in the life for everyone. I know we can do this together if we all focus in this way together. Focus on the things that are most important for you in your lives and use those things to make a bigger difference in other people's lives. That's really the key and the trick here. So if this was valuable to you, please feel free to comment down below. Please share with a friend. Let's get out there. Let's stay healthy and let's make a big impact in other people's lives. I know that we can do that together.